What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Dustin Mansell and Lisa Kryml coming to you live from Las Vegas. Send It Cast is what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, we got the logo, Send It Cast. It's a pretty cool looking logo, isn't it, right? So we're going to do a little insight here. We got the co-founders. You got myself, you got Lisa. We get people ask us all the time about how we met and how we got the idea. And right now, you guys are going to find it out. So let's go back to when we first met. You remember that?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's oh, gosh. The part was, oh, gosh, it was.
Well, it was a bad person that introduced a good person, actually the best person to me. So It was pretty awesome.
Do you remember how when you called me after the one Zoom that we did and you kind of took over and you kind of see me on the Zoom like that, and you called me right away. He's like, I didn't do too much, did I?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny. And I said,
because it was your Zoom, it wasn't mine. And I was like, okay, I'm used to controlling these Zooms.
Yeah. And I was like, no, it was perfect. This is what I've been looking for forever, right then and there. And I think you went like 3 weeks later to Cancun. Was it that quick?
It was that quick.
Yeah. So we had you for about 2-3 weeks. We had a plan with the other guy, and we had this. I think it was ERC or something at the time.
Yep. It was. No, it was SETC.
SETC. Yes. Or that, or the healthcare stuff. Yeah.
We were doing both. Yeah.
And you did a call with us from there, and you were on the beach and you were doing your deal, and I was like, man, she's living the best life ever. And you came back and I called you to get things going. You're like, I decided not to move forward. I was like, oh, no way. And I was like, can I give you like $50 a person and this and that? And you're like, I'll think about it.
That was funny. You were totally trying to convince me. And I'm like, I just didn't think it was going to go anywhere. It kind of was very scatterbrained. Yeah. It was a good idea. And I'm sure it would go somewhere for the right person. But my heart just wasn't in that program. Yeah. It really wasn't.
Mine wasn't either. But to me, I was excited to have somebody like you to partner up with to go and crush the Zooms, because I'm always the one before then that was on the Zooms all the time.
And then weeks later, I got to call you and say, hey.
Yeah, actually, when you called me, we still talked right off and on about, just different things. Yeah. But I was on the golf course at Prim Golf Course. I think I was with Dustin and Gavin, and they're always mad at me when I'm on my phone on the golf course. And you called and I didn't answer it. You called, I didn't answer it. You called again. I was like, what is going on? Picked it up, and you were talking about Transac Card at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I could use this. I could blow this up. And it was a good idea. Transac Card was a great idea if they could get it to work.
It was an awesome idea. Yeah. And it's all about helping people. I mean, that's what I loved about the idea of Transac Card is we could have actually helped churches and schools and, everyday people to save money, 100%. Which has always been what we've been about, is trying to help people.
Yeah, helping people. I mean, it was an amazing idea. It's just, I don't think it'll ever happen with the banking system with the cards.
I don't think so either. The regulations, the regulations, the type money system that they have, they really don't want to share it.
They don't want to share it. That is key right there.
No.
And then we jumped in and we attacked that for a little bit. And we still attacked it, but it wasn't like our main thing. You're like, okay, I was still doing other things. I've always had my own businesses. You have as well.
And I got deeply back into my credit repair. Yep. And then the idea for paid per letter kind of just hit me one day. And then best phone call I ever made was picking up the phone and calling you.
I just got chills.
And it was like a year ago, like almost I mean, we're getting close to a year. Yeah. It was just a couple days after my birthday that I called you. So really close. Yeah.
And we, when you first told me about it, paid per letter is what we named it at first. My first instinct was, okay, you get $5. I thought for sure you were putting money in envelopes and sending them to people, for sure.
I remember your response. It cracked me up. You're like, I can pay a bunch of people to write for me.
Well, that was like the second or third call. The first call, I was like, okay, this is whatever. She's making money. Yeah, she's doing, because you're good at what you do. So I was like, she's good at doing that. And then you called me a couple other times, and I could tell you were trying to ask me to get me to ask you more info about it. And I finally was like, what is this? And you were like, you're getting paid $5 per letter. And I was like, I got like 20 million a list of 20 million. I could do this all day long. And you're like, no, Dustin. And at that time, you're like, Dustin, please don't screw me.
Yeah. Well, I'd already had people in my lifetime, take a really good idea and make it their own. And correct. So I was like, you got to sign something. You got to send me an email saying that this is 50-50. You are not taking this and running with it.
And you were adamant about that. And I kept saying, I go, Lisa, you don't know me then, because... And it was a lot of trust from you. It really was, because it was a great idea, right? And you were like, you still told me everything. And I was like, you're like, I'm going to send you an email. Send it. I'll sign it. I'll send it.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't know it was going to give me the name at the end, right? But I send it. And I was like, send it. And I'll send. I think I did pretty much that day. And when I really grasped my head around what you were doing, I still didn't know what you were doing. I was like, I trusted you too. I knew you were making money. And I was like, okay. I could introduce this to the thousands of people that follow me that won't do what I do. And then I remember one morning waking up to a call from you, and you're like, well, I kind of got some bad news. And in my brain, I was sending you spreadsheets already, right? That's how I am. And I was like, oh no, not the bad news. Come on, I already had my mansion picked out and all this and that. And you said, well, my sister Julie, before I knew her, you were like, we said we were going to kind of go 50-50 in this until you talked to me. And what was that? How'd that conversation go?
Well, let's bring her in. Yeah. Let's hook her up.
Okay. She could have, well, as far as that goes. Yeah. And I said, let's bring her in, because at the time you were doing like the school. And so, or what were you, sales IO?
I had started doing my TikTok. I had a system built on System IO. Yep. And then the classroom itself that I had built out was in school.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
So, and you were still charging. You're getting $199.
Oh, I started getting sales immediately, and in fact, my TikTok I created a brand new TikTok, and I was starting to get 1,000 followers every single day. It was blowing. It was crazy. I mean, I kept jumping on there, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm up another 100. Oh my gosh, I'm up 1,000. Oh my gosh, I mean, because just the idea of what we have created here at Send It Academy, I really felt like we had something special. I really felt that it was the difference in this industry. I was really, really tired of putting people into programs where the majority of those people were not going to succeed. And so I mean, it was such a blessing. Yeah. I'm so glad that the idea came to me. I'm so glad that I picked up the phone call. I'm thankful for every single person that God has so far put in my life. Yeah. But whether it's Nick or obviously Julie. I mean, Julie's been in my life since the day she was born.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But, and then obviously your family, and then all the wonderful people that we have here at Send It Academy that really have made this feel like a home.
Yeah. 100%.
So, I mean,
it's not just us, it's them. Like, without them, we're all nothing as far as Send It Academy, right? And they trust in us as much as we trust in them, the same exact thing.
Yep, we are a family, and it really does feel like that. And it isn't just us. It's other people that say the exact same thing, that this is a family. We actually care about every single one of you, and we want every single one of you to succeed.
So when your sister, obviously she was like upset at first, and then you were like, trust what we're going to do here.
Well, because I know who you are. Yeah. I know your abilities. And the fact of the matter is Julie and I have very good skill sets, but we didn't have what you brought to the table, which is the ability to bring in some leaders that would trust you. And I didn't have that. I'd been out of the industry for a while. So trying to pull in leaders and say, look, here's what I've been making, just trust me on that. It wasn't probably going to fly. Now, not to say that I wouldn't have made a lot of sales and I wouldn't have done good and been able to help people. But the amount of people that we've been able to help here at Send It Academy is just, it's life-changing. Like, not only for you guys, but for us to put my head down on my pillow every single night and know that we've made a difference in other people's lives. It's a pretty amazing feeling, people. Like, it's a pretty amazing feeling knowing that it isn't just you helping yourself, it's you helping other people. And that's, it's awesome.
You hit it right in the head. When do you think she changed her mind? What you told me, I did my first post about it, and I think it had like 500 comments. I think she's seen it. And she was like, okay, I get it now, right?
Yeah. As soon as you started bringing in a couple leaders, and I'm like, this is why we couldn't have done this on our own. Like, we couldn't have developed the marketing pages and the website and the back office for all of these people. We would have been completely lost on that. Yeah. And that is your skill set. And I say this a million times, but God has put the right people in our path from the get-go, whether it was, putting Dustin in my path to be able to make that phone call and be able to share what my knowledge was, and then for him to share his knowledge in return and build this incredible thing. And then my sister, who's an amazing piece of this and her skill set. And then you brought in Nick a few weeks later, and amazing work that Nick does for us. And he gets better and better every single day. I wouldn't even say every single month, every single day. He's opening up and just, it's just incredible how the pieces have just kept falling into place for us.
100%.
And what I love about what we're creating here, and it's not just about the pay per letter program anymore, it's about all the other programs that we're creating that are going to help people, is most of that is accumulation of what we've learned over our lifetime.
Yep.
So we're now able to share that knowledge and share that gift of things that we've done in our lifetime that we can now share with other people and change. We have the platform to be able to change people's lives and to help people. And that's pretty awesome.
For sure. But before we get too far, we're still going to where we got Julie to kind of buy in, right? And then we decided to go and soft launch it. And our soft launch was hoping we'd have 100 people so we could actually do beta test. And we were figuring out how do we charge people? And of course we used Stripe. And it went so big, so quick. My Stripe that we were using at the time
got taken away.
And all of a sudden we're like, well, what are we going to do? Like, people wanted to share from there on out, right? It went from 100 to 300 to 1,000. And we were like, what are we going to do? And literally, ladies and gentlemen, we just had to fly by the seat of our pants. Right?
We did too.
We were taking Zelle, we were taking Cash App, we were taking Venmo, we were taking cash, whatever you can imagine.
The fact that people were like, oh, we trust you. We'll pay you like through all these different platforms with like no receipt, no nothing, but we trust you. Yeah. That's what I mean by like, and this is what I explained to Julie almost from the get-go when you started bringing in those leaders, is we couldn't have done this without Dustin. Like, your skill set is pretty awesome stuff. I am very blessed to have you as my partner. And Julie got it really fast, like really fast. It didn't take for her to be like, okay, I get it. Like, you're right. We couldn't have done this. Could you imagine like people sending you money in just random ways because they were so desperate for this program?
Yeah.
But that's the way that the world runs. There's so many desperate people in this, especially in this industry, that are trying to make a buck, and they don't. Yeah. They don't have that skill set. They can't pick up the phone and just call people up and be like, hey, you need this program and this is why. Yeah. But what we created, anybody can do. And it's pretty awesome. So it didn't take her very long to come around.
No, for sure. And look at us now. We're all 50-50 in this whole thing. We're a huge team. We're a family. We're everything. I was going to go from there as far as, bringing people in. They trusted us. We were doing manually. The system finally came together. So we were manually putting them in the back office, and we're still dealing with that. Almost a year later, we're sitting here right now, me and her, two of her kids, one of my kids who work for us as well. Yeah. They're doing database like dumps. So they're going through and they're seeing the people who signed up at the beginning that the assistant didn't know if they were really active or not. They were kind of riding for free for a long time. And going on to that, even though anybody could do this and should do this, there's still people that started with me that fell off. And they're the same people that I thought this would work for. Then there was some that I was like, they're probably not going to continue doing this. And they're with us to this day and getting drops like crazy. Right. And it's coming into just life itself. Like, if you trust the process and you actually do the work and you stay consistent, you can make money. But I guarantee those people that came in at the beginning with me that fell off. And even with you got some people that came in too.
180 people in 2 months is what I signed up. And a lot of them just kind of fell off.
And they're the ones that I just want to help, but you just can't help those people. They're going to go, something shiny probably came on. And they're
the
going
shiny
to follow
new
that.
object syndrome. Yeah.
Some secret shot you're going to get to make you lose 1,000 pounds in 1 second. It's not going to work. We know that. A lotion, a potion, all that good stuff. And if they would just stick to the process like we did, because I know I did. You could ask my sons over here doing the deal and my other sons out there. There was not a day that I took off. And it was 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. until it happened.
We would be up late at night being
even before that, I'm saying like back in the days.
Oh, yeah.
When we started this, we're the same way. But we've been like that. That's why we're here, because we never gave up.
No.
We stayed consistent the whole time.
And this industry takes work.
Yep.
It always cracks me up when you see people out there promoting, work 1 or 2 hours a day and make $20,000 a month. And I'm like, really?
After you give me $10,000, it'll make it happen. Okay.
It takes a lot more work than that. And most people don't want to put in the effort.
Nope.
And they get frustrated. And then they move on to the next shiny object and the next shiny object and the next shiny object. And the fact is, in this industry, you have to stay focused. You have to put in the time. You have to put in the effort if you want to see the rewards.
The funny thing is everybody wants to work from home, but nobody wants to put the work in from home. Not everybody, at least, right? There's some that do, and those are the ones that succeed. That's how it is. And even the people that are probably CEOs at any big company you're talking about, those guys put the work in. You know, maybe some were handed to them, but majority of them went to college. They put the work in. They got out. They busted their butts, and they're CEOs now, right? That's just how it is. Put in the work, stay consistent. It's going to happen. So then we finally got, March is when we kind of started smoothing out, right? We had the system working. It was on automation. People put in their credit cards. We had the merchant account, which was a pain in the butt to do. Didn't work from home stuff. Merchant is just crazy. I mean, it seemed like if there's one thing that was messing up, we'd get that fixed and something else would mess up. And this is how it works running a business. If it was easy, everybody would do it, right?
Well, everyone would be successful. A lot of people do try to do it, but that goes back to what we just said. Yeah. They don't want to really put in the work to make it work. Yeah. And this takes work. And what always amazes me is when I see our big leaders and they're writing their letters. They're sending their letters out. They're not just preaching to the choir. No. They are part of the choir. Yeah. And I love that.
Speaking of that, actually, it's good segue here, because when we first started, the only person that we knew that made money, 2 people, was you and your sister that actually were writing the letters. So they all trusted that it would happen. A lot of them trusted it and they went and shared it. And that's how we grew quickly. But we didn't really grow quickly until March when they all got their drops.
They started getting their drops and everyone was like, oh my gosh, this really does work. Yes. We're like, we've been telling you.
And their biggest regret was what?
Not writing more.
Not writing more.
Then we got to March and everyone really started just kind of lighting it on fire, because they're like, oh my gosh, I got to write more and more and more and more. Yeah. And of course, with that came the desire to go out and share it more. Because I think a lot of people, especially at the very beginning, they were like, I don't know how much I'm going to share this. I might share it a little bit here, a little bit there, but I really need to see that it actually works before I really open the doors and start sharing it with everyone. Yeah. And oh my gosh, the business just started to accelerate in April. In April. Yeah. We just lit on fire.
When did you go to Cancun?
I went, when did I go this year? I went in March.
In March.
Yes, because you know what? Here's the thing. The funny thing is I'm in Cancun. It's the first week of March and people hadn't started getting their drops yet. And I knew they were coming, right? Yeah. I knew they were right about that window of when they were going to start getting their drops. And literally, I think it was the last day I was in Cancun that a couple of people got drops. Yeah. And then the very next week when I got back,
it was on fire.
Everyone started getting drops from a lot of the casinos. Yep. And I was like, this couldn't happen a week earlier when I was a little bit stressed while I was in Cancun. And I'm like, man, it would be so wonderful if this is the week they got all their drops. And I could, because of course, just like always, I tend to do some work when I'm in Mexico. And I did. I jumped on our calls, both our Tuesday and no, actually I didn't do our Tuesday because we were out doing stuff, but I did jump on our Friday call. Maybe did I Did I jump on my Tuesday?
I'm not sure about that week.
But I know I got on Friday because I was sitting on my patio out by the beach.
Yeah.
And I was showing people, look, this is one of my favorite places on earth. And we were just kind of razzing about the fact that I was at my favorite place.
Yeah, on
which
Earth.
you like to tease me about.
On Earth.
But yes, on Earth. But
that week, though, I remember that week.
We had a little issues because of the IP. That was when a couple people had gotten some deactivations.
Yep.
And it was based on their IP.
Yep.
And a lot of those people got their accounts back because it had been something that Google did, of course, when I'm on vacation and giving me a little
people still thought that it was fake at that point. Like even our big leaders were reaching out and going, "Are you guys sure? Are you guys sure?" And like, just trust it. And when you got back is when
it was done. Yep. It started. Yeah. Everyone started getting drops and they were like, "Oh my gosh, this really does work." And I'm like, yes, I told you.
Yes. It was a relief though, too.
No, of course.
Yeah, because we were like, yeah, it really does. And so even the big leaders.
But I knew.
I knew you knew 100%. But the big leaders, they didn't know.
No,
at all.
Not.
And so when they're bringing people in too, they don't know either. Still, they could see all these 15,000 people that are getting drops, but still you're like, is it real? Like, did I do it right? Did I not do it right? And until you get that first drop is when you go, okay.
Faith over fear.
Faith over fear, 100%.
Absolutely faith over fear.
When did it start to where people started wanting to do a conference? Was that around April, May?
We started planning the conference in April.
Okay.
That's when we decided we were going to have a conference. And so I flew down here and we met with Karen over at the Ahern.
Yep.
And I loved the facility.
Yep.
And so we decided, let's do it.
No, 100%.
Yeah, let's do it.
But we'll just go into some more troubles too, because we're not going to give you all the good with everything.
Yeah, it never works that way.
Yeah,
so.
You went to...
Every marriage has a little bit of crash and burn.
100%. So you took your family or your younger two boys over to Europe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, in June.
During that time, I actually had a huge baseball tournament with my youngest son in Omaha and in Missouri. Yeah. And of course... things went crazy.
Seems like that happens a lot when we both go out of town separately with our families.
Yes, especially at the same time.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, we got to plan better.
I know we do. We definitely do. So we go out of town, and
God was testing us.
Right, and our gateway that handles all the merchant accounts had a bug, and so it was like double charging, triple charging, sometimes 10 times charging people, and it just went out of control. So we're talking 2,000-3,000 people that we had to go and fix nicked it at first when we were gone, and then trying to figure out the what was going on. 10,000 or 2,000, 3,000 people. Do we got to go and refund 3-4 times at a time? Yeah. We're talking like 10,000 refunds. So not only did we lose momentum, we kind of stopped for a minute. Also, we were getting flagged by merchant accounts, going, "Why all those refunds?" And we're like, "Well, it's not us." The open, the gateway is the one that's doing this. Yep. And that was another hiccup. And that took us about a month to get through that hiccup.
Yeah, it's been one hiccup. Something you said to me around that time period always makes me giggle because you're like, they tell you, own a company. He's all,
it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, own a company. It's going to be fun.
It kind of cracks me up because owning a company, it's not as perfect as everyone sounds. Yep. I'm going to go back to what we said a little while ago. It takes a lot of work.
Yes, it does.
I mean, we put in a lot of hours.
Lots of hours.
Yeah. I mean, we're always trying to make everything perfect. We're always trying to fix and foresee any issues, creating new opportunities for our people.
Yep.
We're always calling each other up, bouncing each other off. I think, my husband's like, really, Dustin again? And I'm sure your wife's probably like, Lisa again?
Yeah.
It's like 9:00 at night and I'm calling my partner and my husband's like, really? We're watching a movie. And I'm like, I know, but this is important.
Yeah, it's all important.
So of course I've had to, have conversations with him just about this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to really do what we've always wanted to do.
Yep.
This is our purpose. In life, everything's about having a purpose. And I knew what I wanted to do with my life. And I'm sure you knew what you wanted to do with yours. And it's always been around helping other people and trying to just make their lives as easy as possible. And it isn't just about making lives of our families possible, because obviously that kind of comes with the territory, but just making a difference for somebody else.
For sure.
And
I can tell you this much. If I was a billionaire, there would be no homeless people at all.
Oh, I said the same thing. I always say if I won the lottery, I would buy apartment buildings and put all the homeless in it.
And there'd be problems with that too. There's going to be some that are going to be, but I would still
of the situation.
But I would still make sure that, and some people want to sleep on the street, so that's what they want to do. They'd rather do that than have a house. But I would help the people that wanted to be helped.
You know why though, right? Because there's no responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, and some people, the responsibility that they had to put out in their lifetime has just overwhelmed them so much. Because one of my husband's really close friends was on the street, and we would go get him and pick him up, take him out for a warm meal, give him some money, and he couldn't wait to get away from us. And it was so sad.
That's
and
crazy.
It was because, and he finally one day, Paul asked him, like, what is the draw to being on the street? Your dad passed away, left you money, and all you have to do is work, and it matched what he got. Whatever he made him work, he got 3 times the amount from their trust at the end of the year, and he still wouldn't do it. And Paul finally asked him, and he says, "I don't want responsibility." He's all, out here, I don't answer to anyone, and I don't have to worry about anyone. And unfortunately, yes, you're right. There are probably some people on the street that just don't want that, but there's still a lot of people that
want it. That,
you know, just the environment and what's going on in our world forces them on the street, the greed and stuff. And I know you're a Christian and I'm a Christian, and I don't want to be about greed. We love to give back here. We're always bouncing things off of each other on, like, how can we help more people? How can we do this? How can we do that? Hey, let's give away a car. Let's give away stamps. Let's do this. Let's do that. And he never says no. Like, you never say no when I throw that stuff, and I never say no to you.
No, why would we?
No, I think there's just, we're on similar brainwaves. We think alike. Your wife likes to say we're the yin to the yang. And it really is true. We have a lot of the same heart. Yeah.
But it wasn't always good. When we first were putting together the compensation plan, I wanted to give away a ton at the time. And you were like, well, we got to do this. And you were right. We got to pay for the support, got to pay for this.
Yeah,
and we met right in the middle. Yeah. Is where we met. And right now it's been perfect. You know, I probably would have gave away too much. And you were like, hey, we got to hold it back a little bit. And it's worked out absolutely perfect now from what we were doing.
I'd rather give away stamps and other stuff than to give it all out in the front. And then at the end, be left counting pennies on how do we
only have Nick for support, and that's it. And it's 1,000 support tickets.
And we're growing. I mean, we keep bringing more and more. We just brought another person on today to assist with the support. So we're growing. And and by not giving away the whole car at the beginning, we're able to give more.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, in our own way. So
speaking of giving away a car, let's get right into the conference. So we were getting ready for the conference. We were going to the Ahern. We wanted 1,000 people. I think we both think that we did it at the wrong time. It was election year. And it was a huge election, if you guys weren't aware. And it was 1 week or 2 weeks after the election. It was also right before Thanksgiving. A lot of people, by the way, this last Thanksgiving, it was the most traveled Thanksgiving in all time, broke records everywhere. Yep. And so a lot of people already had plans to go elsewhere with their families, and it was hard for them to afford 2 places. But we still had a huge turnout, and the right turnout. The people that were there, oh my goodness. Have you ever been on a dance floor where you've danced the whole entire 2 hours and everybody was dancing the whole 2 hours?
I love watching those videos.
Yeah.
Not only that, though, just every part of the conference went off so smoothly. I'm still in amazement on I couldn't have asked for it to be more perfect. We couldn't have asked for it to be more perfect. Yeah. Like, the speakers were all amazing. The only thing I can say about the speakers is I wish we could have given them a little bit more time. Yeah. I mean, everything was just so perfect.
Which you learn, you live and you learn. So this next year, everybody's going to have more time. It's going to be more extended. We will hit 1,000. I think we'll sell out that 1,000 pretty quickly. And that'll give it
get your tickets early.
For 2026, that's going to push it to where my goal of when I close my eyes, when Katie was talking at 10,000, I think 2026 is when we'll have that 10,000 is what I believe. Sure. You know, because people are going to see how quick the 1,000 goes, and they're going to go and just jump on it right away, and how exciting it is too, you know?
Well, the fact of the matter is we're just getting started. Yep. And so as we have all these new programs coming out, we are going to increase our membership to the point where we're going to have so many people worldwide that I'm pretty sure that 1,000's going to go fast.
Yep.
And a lot of those same speakers that we had on the first one are going to be there. We're going to add some speakers because we're going to continue to add value, add programs that change people's lives.
Angel's going to be there.
Of course.
Or MC. If you don't know who Angel is, wait till you watch the replay.
Julie and I are working on something real special.
Ooh, I like that. So am I. I'm working on something special too.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really, but I will start now since she's doing it. It was amazing. Do you remember? Oh, gosh. You remember these numbers? And I know you do. 8, 1, 6, 5.
I will never forget those numbers.
Never ever forget those numbers. I get chills talking about it right now.
I'm a numbers person, so I'm sure on my deathbed I'll be like 8165.
I'm a winner.
I changed somebody's life that much.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
When I see people that went to the conference and they made posts after they got back, and my whole entire feed on Facebook was
for like 4 days,
people
nonstop.
About the conference, and one comment really did resonate with me, and it was, they gave away a car. Who does that?
Yeah.
We do that.
Yeah.
We do that. The two of us,
yes,
we do that. Send It Academy does that because we always want to be giving back.
Yes, we do. And look at us here now. We're in our little Send It Cast studio here and kind of just talking a little bit, and nothing was planned. We just said, let's just go. We jumped in. I said, hey, let's just go from the beginning. I'm sure the next time she's going to do something too. Let's go back and do this type deal. Next one we're going to have, you're going to see Nick and Julie here with us as well. And then we're going to start bringing in and probably flying in. Actually, some of our big leaders come to do this with us, and
I'd love
just
that.
Different people and just talk and get to know more people, which is what we love. Networking is about networking. And what we do here is it's networking, but we also love everybody. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I said I love you to people at the conference.
Oh yeah. And hugs and kisses.
Hugs.
Not only that, my husband's like, are you famous now? Because I couldn't leave my room without people going, Lisa or Julie or Dustin. I'm sure you got the same thing.
All the time.
Everyone was like, can I have a hug?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes, you can have a hug. Everyone can have a hug.
I told, I think it was my uncle. I told him, I go, I'm just Dustin, it's, of course you're going to get a hug. Of course you can take a picture with me. I'm just Dustin. I am not that guy, and I never will be that guy. I'll always be down to earth with people. You will too. And it's just awesome to be a partner.
All real.
And it's awesome to be your partner.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that God had put us together.
Speaking of God, we both have some pretty amazing families God gave us.
We do.
You have some amazing kids. I know I have some amazing kids.
Yeah.
Your wife is just an incredible woman.
Yes, she is.
And I know my husband is as
Paul.
well.
Yeah, so is Paul.
I know my husband is too. And and
although he's a Raiders fan, but whatever. We'll get over that.
But the point I wanted to make is, and I said this earlier at lunch, and I really did mean it. One of the most amazing things, and the things that really does touch my heart, is the fact that you guys love God. I don't know if I could be as tight with you. You're my brother at this point. Seriously, I think of you and Summer and the kids as family at this point. And I thank God every day that He put you guys in my life, and that you love Him as much as I love Him.
She's doing it, guys.
Yes, I'm doing it. I'm going to bring some tears because it's true. Yeah. It really is true. I mean, the thing that your son created with Faithletics.
Oh, Faithletics. Right here. Check it out. Faithletics. Faithleticsfamily.com, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Check out this video. You really got to check out this video, and then we'll get back to you when you come back.
My name is Dustin Manel Jr. So Faithletics, I'm co-founder of Faithletics with 2 other business partners of mine. We started it at a time of my life when I needed it. They actually started it before I jumped in. And I just heard about it. I was going through some things, and they were like, we want to reach athletes. We want to connect. We want to spread the glory of God. And so I was like, let's do it. It'll hold me accountable in my faith. It'll spread the word, and it's done nothing but that. Faithletics now, fast forward 2 years, we are 155,000 followers on Instagram, 60-something thousand on TikTok. We're spreading the word through all athletes across the nation. We sponsor athletes when they're big enough with a big enough audience, so we send them gear, and we're like, post it, get us out there, man. And people actually in return reach out to us. And they're like, how do I become part of this? I want to become an ambassador. So we have them become ambassadors. We give them a discount code. They spread their discount code, spread the word. They actually make commission from their discount code, which has been huge for them because they want to. It's an incentive. You know, they're like, yeah, use discount code Dustin and I get $5. Okay, you know, spread it to mom, dad, whatever. So yeah, fast forward 2 years, about 250,000 followers across all platforms, reaching athletes in different countries. We have Paul Skeens, who just won Rookie of the Year. He's a pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirate. Jorge Masvidal just wore our hat, sent him some stuff. He wore it on stage with Trump. Now we're here with Send It, and it's a blessing. Send It has done numerous things for us as far as Send It has a big Christian and religious following, and that's what we need. So I'm here for them. Here you go. There's Faithletics, you know, and every single day. So we post a new Bible verse every day. We reach out to athletes. We answer 100 DMs every single day. And when we focus on the clothing part of it, and we're like, yeah, let's do sales. It doesn't work like that. It works when we incorporate God into it and we post a Bible verse and we reach out to him and then our sales flow in. So it's insane how God actually has his hand in what we're doing, and it's paying out tremendously. But yeah, it's been a journey. I love it. I wake up every day, look forward to hopping on Faithletics and editing some video or picture and posting it and seeing the comments. Amen, amen, God bless. It makes my day. I'm one of 3 founders, and all of us played baseball growing up. We love all sports, but we're baseball players. So the majority of our followers and ambassadors are baseball players. We still have a lot of hockey, a lot of football, a lot of basketball, wrestling, weightlifting, whatever it is. But I would say a good portion of our followers is just baseball. It's hard to market to things that we don't have videos of us playing football. You know, we got videos of us pitching and we're like, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, as far as engagement and branding, we're out in Australia. We have a big following in India, actually. I'd say India and Australia are probably our 2 main countries that we ship to. I mean, Canada, that's our neighbor. So we ship them across the ocean. It takes a good week or 2 to get there, but when they get it, they post it. We're all sleeping and they'll post it because they're on different time zones. But yeah, man. So yeah. You know, man, I wish I could say that we're directly affiliated with Send It, and we're not. We just know good people with Send It, and they love to help us out. We love to help them out. But Send It has done amazing things for us. Every time there's a Zoom call, and I also created the shop for Send It. So the senditshops.com, I created that. So through that, they see the Faithletics, they can click on it, send us an email, whatever. It's just in their head. So with the 15,000 people that Send It has following them, those 15,000 are actually following Faithletics as well. So it's been a beautiful thing for us. The first Send It conference, it was personal, but the main takeaway I took from that is don't stop going. You know, I mean, I'm on 3 hours of sleep from last night, packing up Faithletics, making posts, doing whatever. So you can find Faithletics anywhere. You search up Faithletics, will pop up, but our Instagram is faithletics.co and our website is faithleticsfamily.com. You can find us there, shoot us an email, shoot us a DM, let's have a conversation.
You guys, wasn't that amazing? He came up with this idea that is absolutely amazing when it comes to Christian gear. Being proud of being a Christian. And I know back probably 10 or 15 years ago, my brother had a website and it was called Know the Bible. And he tried to do the whole gear with, you know, the polo stuff for golfing because he's a huge golfer just like you. And he didn't have the platform to do it back then. And your son and his friends have created the platform to be able to get out not only their amazing gear, but God. Yep. And I mean, that must make you so proud. I mean, that's your oldest, that's your baby. He's an entrepreneur just like his dad.
Yes, he is. I told him one time, and when he talked to him, I said, stop trading your time for a wage. Yeah. Stop it. Yeah. Don't go to 9 to 5. If you have a love, you have the passion, go and do it. And he's doing it. Yeah. And our family that we have, it just goes together perfectly. You know, he had his little line going on our conference, and that line was just as big as the people that are buying our gear for Send It. Oh, yeah. And to me, it makes me happy, man. When I wear the best sweatshirts, that white one that says Faithletics on it, I can't go anywhere without somebody stopping me and saying, where'd you get that sweatshirt?
The design is amazing.
It's amazing. It's just really plain and simple. right to the point.
Right.
You should see their new designs.
And then the cross.
The cross.
And then always having the cross.
Yep.
Yeah. Just reminding people. I mean, I love wearing the Sunday gear, obviously, because that's promoting our company. But what an amazing thing to promote the man upstairs, who is the reason why I'm here, reason why you're here.
100%.
The reason why we have such amazing lives and we're able to change people's lives is because he has blessed us with those. Because I think he knows that we have the right intentions. We're not out to just make a quick buck and hurt people. We want to change people's lives.
You get back what you give. And I probably say it once a day. If you want to smile, what do you give?
Yeah, you give a smile.
If you want a hug, what do you give?
You give a hug.
If you want a punch in the face, what do you give?
Well, you punch in the face.
Yes, and it's really that easy. If you want to get back some positive energy, you give some positive energy out. And if you're go to church and you tithe and you want to get abundance of money, then give 10% or 20% of your earnings to the church. It's that easy, and God will reward you with that. He really will.
Yep.
It's karma. They say it, but I think it's God. I think it's really what it is. Karma's cool, and we'll come back and get you for doing something bad as well, because if you're giving out bad, you're going to get back bad, right? And I don't know if God's going to give you bad or not, but you get back what you give no matter what.
No, for sure.
So
for sure.
Amazing stuff. Lise, you good to go? Or you want to talk about some more stuff?
No, I think we'll go ahead and talk next week, and we'll introduce another subject.
Yeah.
But you guys make sure you check out faithleticsfamily.com.
Yeah.
It's amazing gear, especially if you're a Christian, to go around and spread the word of God. And
I'm not sure where we're going to put this platform on yet, but subscribe if it is YouTube, or if we do a podcast, whatever, make sure you share with your friends, like that as well. We're going to do a lot of these. We're going to have a lot of different people on here.
Yeah.
If you're all about positivity, then jump in with us, because that's what we give, because what do we want back? Positivity.
We want positivity, yes.
So that's it. I'm Dustin Mansell checking out.
I'm Lisa Kryml checking out.
See you.